Tell me, Mark, got you in the car. We're going around meeting people and talking about Wellington. And I think I've almost warmed up to the fact that people think that there might be a future here. What do you think about Wellington?
Oh, people, it's funny, despite how bad it is, people are pretty positive. You know, you see those young guys saying they love it, they love the culture, all that sort of stuff. So I think everyone does love Wellington, but they hate all the rubbish that goes with it, all the problems we've got at the moment, and the businesses are doing it tough. But even then, people are still going, we're going to push through. So there's an incredible loyalty. You're worried though at some point that might run out.
What's your favourite beach?
I must say, Lyle Babes, I take the dog down there. I go there all the time. I think it's sort of quite cool. It's a great area down there. Yeah.
Favourite restaurant?
See, I was a big Capitol was my favourite restaurant for years, but I do like Lulu's because my nephew is the chef there and he's bloody good. And I also like this new one, and I think it's great, a restaurant starting up in this climate, Bel Air in Torrey Street, affordable French food. I went there the first time and you get an entree for $6 and a dessert, not much more.
Hey mate, I'm buzzing right now. You can probably tell by the Cheshire Cat smile on my face. And tell me, with your past on TVNZ, who did you meet? I mean, we interviewed Pauline Gillespie, and she said she met Beyonce, Trump. She met all these people. You must have interviewed some interesting people other than me.
Yeah. It was a great opportunity. Clinton, Bill, the Dalai Lama. I tell you who was actually good fun was old Bill Shatner, Captain Kirk.
Oh!
Yeah, for a Canadian.
What would you,
he was over here. This is after, and he'd done that, what's it, Boston Legal or whatever. What was that show?
He's a legend.
Yeah, and he was funny as a fit.
What do you do when you interview someone and you really fall for them and you get, does the cameraman tell you what to do, or do you just flow?
No, you just flow. No, the cameraman's there it's interesting. And even that, I remember once, was it Paul McCartney, I think, was doing an interview.
The Beatle?
Yeah, and he had his own cameraman come in and check the framing and make sure that they had it done and how they wanted it, which you can assist on when you're Paul McCartney, I guess.
Have you got a favourite song? What's your favourite band, or have you just got some?
It's like, what's your favourite kid, I like the, Beatles, Stones, Kinks, Doors. I'm a product of my era, but sort of more modern-y. Yeah, I'm into everything, but it's hard to go. They reckon you never change. The music you heard as you were growing up, that's what stays with you for the rest of your life. It ends at a certain thing.
Dude, what do you think about travel? Would you travel out of Wellington? Obviously, you're a Wellingtonian.
Yeah.
You care about the city.
Yeah.
You're out now today on doing this, not paid, all for Wellington, just to get the vibe and share that. Where do you travel to? Do you ever go out of Wellington?
Oh, yeah, go. I was over the Wairarapa last week, we're doing a fundraiser for the Life Flight Trust. So there's a bit of, and I go up, Hawke's Bay, Caddy, I've got friends up there. I like to go up, bit of time up in Auckland.
Why are you doing this for Wellington?
Why? Everyone's concerned about Wellington. Everyone's worried about Wellington. And as I say, when I walk out of the supermarket and there I see my barber, old Mark from Kilburnie, standing in the middle of a car park, and he's why am I doing it? Well, you walk out of the supermarket and there's my barber standing there in the middle of a car park in the middle of a massive southerly talking to this other guy about when they're both going to shift to Brisbane.
No.
And there's that more and more and more. People are sort of getting that fed up and had enough, and they think it's dysfunctional, and I think that's wrong. There is lots of good things about Wellington, and we've got to make it work.
So you're doing this, you're going around and interview, just sort of few interviews here and there. Do you have any advice? You know a lot of things and a lot of people. Do you have any advice for Wellington and the councillors if you could sit in a room with them?
God, look, it isn't fair. I don't believe that anyone who stood for council or signed up or whatever, I think they'll go in with the best of motives. It's a bit like national politics, but they're not always well equipped to do the job. It would seem to be just desperate. People just want to know, look, we just know where we're going, what's happening, keep it plain and simple, and that's what's not happening at the moment. People don't have it. It's that lack of confidence. And if people are going to invest their money and their futures in the city, they're going to be able to have some confidence.
Would you, would you put your money where your mouth is? If someone said, "Hey, why don't you run for southern suburbs or something?"
People have said that before over the last few elections. So, look, it's something you'd have to think really carefully about. I'm certainly not looking at that at the moment.
And what about Trump? What about Trump winning in America?
I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because it came back down to, it was no one had any confidence in the economy. It was a 75% negative view of the economy. No one's going to vote for someone who's an insider, Kamala, and effectively the vice president. You've been there the last 4 years and was saying the economy is tanked. Then there's no way they could win. That's us, but of course all of us, myself included, all got caught up in the Trump's a danger, and he is. I think he is a danger.
What do you mean he's a danger?
Well, how do you look at us? We've got so used to him telling outright lies, and we just accept it. So how's it going to be when you're president? What's going to happen with NATO? What's going to happen with the Ukraine? What's going to happen with Russia? All those sort of things. I think there's major worries.
Well, doesn't Trump just go in there and sit down at the table and bang the table and say that we're not going to give you weapons anymore?
What, to the Ukraine? Yeah. So what, do we abandon them so the Russians can keep all the land that they've invaded and taken? That's a great lesson. So what happens when they decide they want to do the same to Georgia or anywhere else?
Well, he'll say that you can't have Georgia. He'll just negotiate a bit of land. Isn't that part of a negotiation?
Well, listen, that's what you see. But hang on, if someone came in and invaded your house, and then you're saying, well, look, if you move out, I'll give you half the house.
No, that
would you be on for that? Well, that's effectively, isn't it, what they're saying to the UK?
Well, no, but you're making that about me. You're making that about me. That's about them now. You're trying to make this about me.
No, but I'm saying it's the same. It's the same principle. Yes. Why should you saying that it's negotiated? Well, negotiate implies that they're going to have to give up whatever the Russians have stolen so far. And
crikey, most people it's a bit too real when you put it like that.
Well, that's what the situation. Look, if Trump can put an end to the Ukraine war, I'd say good on him. But there's got to be a fair and just end to it. And then there's that whole issue over, the whole NATO alliance is supposed to sort of safeguard prevent world wars and all that whole sort of thing. Gone. Trump wants out of it. And he does these things. There's always a grain of truth in it. For years the Americans have been picking up the lion's share of running NATO.
We just flipped the screen on you right now with the down into Courtney Place here. We're turning right from Taranaki into the mighty Courtney Place. What do you think?
Well, it was interesting. They do need to. And all the businesses here. See, my son comes down here every weekend. He hits all the clubs and all that sort of stuff. And they all complain about lack of toilets and lack of facilities, and then there's all the homeless and the people sleeping on the street. It's a bit of work to, you've got to tidy up the environment a bit too, I think.
Didn't you used to come into Courtney Place?
Oh, I've always been done the old Courtney Place, but jeepers.
What's your favourite bar in Courtney Place? Have you been to Molly Malone's before?
Years and years ago.
What was did you remember any bars when you were here in Courtney Place that you
there was the old Ecstasy Plus, of course, when I first started coming. Old Terry's one on the corner.
Terry
Serapisos. Had a huge big bar down here called Ecstasy Plus.
Okay. You all have got a deep history and a passion for Wellington, and you've obviously travelled New Zealand. Do you have a favourite city?
Oh, look, you'd have to say Wellington, yeah. I had it great for a while when I was doing close-up. I'd live in Auckland during the week and Wellington on the weekends back at home. It was a little bit warmer up north, I've got to say. That's one thing going for it. Warmth does matter.
So you were, what was close-up?
That was the 7 o'clock current affairs show on every night.
Oh, that was talking about issues that impacted This is Paul Holmes' territory.
Yeah, well, it was Paul's old show.
This is the main...
the home show became closer.
Massive reach and coverage. Boy, that's changed a lot now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, over the glory days, I mean, on both sides, because it was a really... it had... you were the biggest show in town. So.
How do you feel about the fact that you're now being interviewed on Wellington Live, the biggest show in town?
Well, I could have only dreamed of that. I could only have dreamed.
That was Graham Bloxham for Wellington Live. Oh, absolutely. Oh. Okay, well, thank you, Mark.
All right.
I'm going to pull over into the loading zone right now, where we do have a loading zone permit. Yeah, that's hot.